Alright, let's try that. Hello, Galaxy. Hello, Platypus. Can you hear me now? Great way to start my stream with everything muted for some reason. Is that any better? Okay, it's working. So, happy Friday. I was just saying I'm really hyped for next Tuesday, I think, the horror movie Good Boy comes out, which is, it's a generic horror movie. A new family moves into a house, you know, it's haunted. But this one, instead of just being, oh, the house is haunted, it appears to be shot from the perspective of the family dog trying to protect the family from the evil that they moved into. So I'm really kind of interested to see what they do with a generic horror movie, but from the perspective of the dog, almost like if you ever saw back in the day Courage the Cowardly Dog, kind of like that. So I'm kind of hyped to see what they do with that. I always love, Emmy and I love bad horror movies. We just love watching the bad horror movies, but we also love a good horror movie, especially when they can take a generic or weird premise and turn it into something much, much better. So I'm kind of hyped to see what they do with that premise. So next Tuesday, that's coming out, and we're going to be super enjoying that. Looks like we got to go up and around here. We're going to go hunt down the legendary vending machine. Just changed its location, so we're going to go up and around and see the legendary vending machine to see if there's anything really, really good in there this week. So we've got to fight our way to it, apparently. Excuse me. So that, yeah, I'm really hyped for Good Boy. That's going to be hopefully the horror movie of the year, but I don't necessarily know that, because, you know, sometimes those low budget bad horror movies just really are bad horror movies. I also started playing Mafia, the old country, that came in the mail, and I was so impressed with how Catholic that game is. Like, there's different altars, there's tons of Virgin Marys everywhere, you get a rosary as your power-up system, and so far, granted I've only played for a few hours, but so far it's actually like decent Catholicism. It's not just generic video game, oh, this is religion and religion is bad and we hate religion. It seems like it's actually like genuinely trying to portray Catholicism in Sicily for the time period, so I'm kind of really excited to see what they do with that, because it's been pretty good so far, dare I say. I know I might regret saying that, but I'm excited to see what they do with it. Mafia is one of those games where it really appeals to one type of people and no one else. I can definitely see that so far. Like, I thought Mafia the Old Country was just going to be like a Grand Theft Auto clone and nothing else. But like, it's so far, it's got a great stories trying to build on. There's no like GTA stuff. Like, it just seems like they're trying to tell a story, and it's kind of cool. Do you play Spider-Man 2? Like the new PlayStation 5 Spider-Man? He hates Spider-Man? No, I love Spidey. What are you talking about? The only grudge I hold against Spider-Man, and maybe this is an unfair grudge to hold against Spider-Man, but back in the NES days, my brother and I would play the old NES Spider-Man beat-em-up games. And because I was the younger brother, I never got to be Spider-Man. I always had to play as Venom. And so, while I like Spider-Man, I always, you know, have an affinity for Venom over Spider-Man, because as a kid, I never got to be Spider-Man. I always had to be Venom. And of course, you know, back then, Venom was the jerk from the cartoons. You know, Eddie Brock was always a jerk. So they've done a good job of giving Venom a lot more in modern day. But back in the day, I just always had to be Venom, and I was always sad about having to be Venom because I wanted to be Spider-Man. Because what kid doesn't want to be Spider-Man? You know, it's the same thing, like if there was a Batman game, boom, okay, cool, Batman, but you have to be Robin. No one wants to be Robin, especially when you have the option to be Batman. Who would ever want to be Robin? So I hold that personally against Spider-Man for making me play as Venom in the games. I guess maybe that's unfair, but I did play the new Spider-Man games, and they're really awesome. In fact, one of my favorite photos from video game photography that I have is from the new Spider-Man game. I got a really beautiful shot. Awen, good morning. All right, legendary vending machine. What do we got here? We've got absorbing shield that's vintage. When you receive melee damage, it gives damage back, and 30% chance to absorb bullets and add them to your ammo. That is pretty good with resistance to elements. I did not check out the game yet. No. This is Borderlands 4, the new Borderlands game. We've got the Finity XXXL with pipe and hot barrels, does not consume ammo while overheating. And it's got fire damage on it. Okay. And that's okay, that's what we get. All right, well, let's grab a legendary shield, I guess. I don't know, that wasn't super exciting, but let's compare them. Actually, this shield's worse, so I guess we messed up by it. So there are 30 billion guns allegedly in this game. That's what the devs say, is that you can randomly generate up to 30 billion different guns. So I don't know if I believe that number fully, but that is the number that they gave us. 40 billion guns. Alright, we gotta fight Sydney Pointy Legs here. One of the coolest bosses, I think, just design-wise. He looks hilarious. But yeah, Mafia's been pretty good so far, so I'm very happy with that. There's so many games coming out though this week that I got so many games to play. Thank you, Galaxy. I appreciate that, because we got the new Final Fantasy. We got the new Final Fantasy coming out. Well, I guess not new. It's the remake. The Final Fantasy Tactics remake is coming out on next Tuesday, I think. We got a WoW expansion. We're probably playing Mafia. I've just got way too many games to play. I'm so excited to play Final Fantasy Tactics again. I do think that the Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced was better than the original Final Fantasy Tactics, if I remember correctly. So I'm hoping that this one will now get more people to get the other one, you know? Who are you? Random person. I can't find anyone to shoot. Thank you, random person. I do wish we were getting the Final Fantasy Tactics remake instead of the original Final Fantasy Tactics, but I'll take any Final Fantasy Tactics I can get. It's such a good game. Very solid, very hyped for it. You should try and collect them all. There is a Pokemon knockoff game that just came out that I'm very excited to play called Aether Stream or something like that, and it looks like a Pokemon roguelike, so I am very excited to get to try that as well. That is something that is on the list, TM, as Dex say. I have too many games I need to play and not enough time, which I think is everyone's absolute problem, you know? I've been talking to Dex, though, about, I got onto prepper talk videos of people who prep for the end of the world, you know, the apocalypse coming. And there is some absolutely insane things that I have been reading on the prepper talk. Like today, this morning when I woke up, I was watching a couple videos just to wake up to. And this person was suggesting, they said that during World War II, we melted down a bunch of bells to turn into ammunition because, you know, World War II, we had to recycle a bunch of parts. Okay, that makes sense. I'm on board with that. I understand what you're saying. And so they said that is the reason why the world is in such a bad state right now is because bells ward off evil spirits and demons, and when we as a society destroyed all the bells to turn them into ammunition, it unleashed all the demons into the world. So if we want to fix the world, all we need to do is rebuild the bells. And that it might be one of the more out there takes I've ever heard, that the solution to all the problems is to build some more brass bells. I definitely say I've never heard anyone suggest that as a solution to all the world's problems before. So that was an interesting way to start my day. But like, there's so many of these people who seem to be like, and we've talked about these kind of people before, right? The people who like are waiting for the end of the world, and they hope that someone breaks into their house so that they can use their weapons on them, and they're just like saying they're waiting for a disaster to happen. And that's what these people feel like, is they're just waiting for something bad to happen so that they can live in their fantasy. And I don't think the apocalypse is going to be as fun as they seem to think that the apocalypse is going to be. Mr. Consistent, hello. Like, this one person was talking about how they prep their kid for school, and whenever their kid goes to school, their kid has to carry this bag, and it's got like a whistle and a emergency water drinking kit and electrolytes for recess and a snare just in case they need to catch food after school because they don't come home because the apocalypse happens while they're at home. And just madness. What game is this? This is Borderlands 4. This gun is not working very well. Let's find some ammo so we can get something that actually works, because this is not working at all. There we go. I call them emotional support guns, and that's exactly what it is. This guy legitimately said he can't go to bed until he checks to make sure that he's got his 3 different weapons, his tasers, his emergency radio. He has to have all these things by his bed in order to sleep. And it's like, dude, you're living in so much fear. Like, I understand having something in case someone breaks in. Okay, one thing, okay, I understand that. But you need multiple weapons, tasers, ham radios, emergency water, all next to your bed, or you can't sleep at night. Like, that is 100% like mental illness level. You should not be living in that much fear that you can't sleep unless you've got 50 gadgets next to you to keep you safe. Like, that's just living in so much fear. I feel so bad for the people living like that, you know? Alright, my other guns are garbage, so we need more ammo for this gun, because apparently the other legendaries I grabbed were absolutely terrible. Also, if you couldn't tell, the shirt I am wearing, this is my Shrek costume that I found at Target randomly. It is supposed to look like Shrek's vest, and it came with a beanie that has ogre ears on it, so I officially can cosplay as Shrek with this shirt on, for all of you who are wondering what my shirt is. Alright, we got a legendary that dropped. Let's check out what kind of legendary came from this boss. We got garbage. Ooh, that's not bad. We might actually use that one. Apparently my inventory is full. Augmented grenade. Jacob's shotgun. Ooh. Ooh. This Mollywan gun is putting out the damage. Look at that. 3,000 fire damage and ice, which we use. We are for sure grabbing that shotgun. Yes, please. Not without the green face paint. Alright, here's the legendary. We got a legendary swarming grenade with swoosh. It summons a Merv payload, explosion damage, and grenades home in on people. I don't think that's going to be great, but let's try that out. Let's drop something randomly here so we can pick up our other grenade just in case it doesn't turn out. Okay, so this is what the new grenade looks like. Okay, and then it spawns. I assume if there's enemies near, that will be a little bit better because it will lock in on them. So let's go. Let's go somewhere and test this out, I guess. Let's go see if this grenade is worth it. And let's sell some garbage. Does anyone have any good plans coming up for the weekend? Okay, we gotta be careful not to sell the grenade just in case we need our grenade back. That's our grenade. We don't want to sell that one. I am hyped that it's the weekend, and hopefully it is finally payday. I was gonna get Donkey Kong, but like I said, the new Final Fantasy is coming out, so I'm probably gonna be playing Final Fantasy next week. But I also, Ghost of Yotai. Ghost of Yotai is coming out soon, and I'm really, really hyped for Ghost of Yotai because they just announced that they have a, it's an advanced photography mode. Not only do they have like professional lens modes to like emulate different lenses, but they're also like including moving action scenes and all sorts of things like that. So I'm really excited to see what the photo mode they're doing is there. No Arc Raiders. Arc Raider is doing a big open beta, I think, in 2 weeks, and I am very, very excited to play Arc Raider. I think Arc Raider might be my new obsession of a game for a while. Arc Raiders looks like the perfect game for me, so I will be playing the open beta. Also, speaking of open betas, if you're into it, I just signed up for the open beta Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is releasing a mobile game called Monster Hunter Outlanders, and they are now signing people up for an open beta as we speak. So if you're interested in the Monster Hunter on the go, the Monster Hunter beta is opening up for people now. It's going to be like an MMO style, maybe gacha game. I don't know a whole lot about it. The only downside to it is if you sign up for the open beta, they are very specifically making you sign NDAs and asking that you do not discuss the game. So unfortunately, even if you get into the beta, you can't talk about it with other people, which is always a big bummer. Like Amazon just hosted a big thing for their new game that's coming out soon. I wanted to share it with y'all, but they very specifically said you are not allowed to talk about our game to anyone. And that's always a bummer when they're like, no, don't share our game, don't talk about it, all that sort of thing, which I understand why, but also like there's so many different groups that like pay for marketing, right? So like if you're gonna pay for marketing anyways, why wouldn't you let the people who are beta testing the game show it off? Do you know about where the winds meet? I do not. What is that? Alright, this grenade does not seem very impressive to me. Like, it spawns a lot of extra grenades, but it doesn't seem like it's actually, like, dealing any damage. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I feel like it's not doing anything, really. It's a free-to-play NetEase game. I recognize the name NetEase, but I can't tell you a single thing about what does NetEase make. Because I recognize the name NetEase, but I can't think of any of their games right now. Alright, let's try these grenades on these people. It's not a lot of damage. I don't know. I feel like this grenade is not living up to expectations. NetEase did Marvel Rivals. Okay. Marvel Rivals is pretty good. Though I will say that I kind of feel like they've gone too far into the rabbit hole on Marvel Rivals of making every like hero skin extra sexy just to try and sell skins. You know, it's something I dislike in games when they go that pandery route, especially because like the Gooner gamers are out of control right now. We've talked about this before, but like the whole the Silent Hill F coming out, and they censored it so you can't look at the girl's underwear, and people are like truly upset about this. It's like the saddest thing I've seen people complaining about. And then they're releasing a new Fatal Frame remake, and once again they gave the girl a shirt and covered up a little bit of her cleavage. And once again, it's okay. It's time to riot, guys. They're censoring our stuff. We're not allowed to ogle these girls. So this game is absolute garbage, and we need to boycott it. And it's so sad. It's so sad that that's how they're choosing to spend their life and their free will, is complaining about games censoring their ability to ogle girls. Like, why is that such a big deal? I just don't get it. Alright, that chest was kind of disappointing. There was some absolute garbage in there. So we need to go get some... We need to get some mangler tails, it says. And we need to go acquire that sample. So that should be pretty easy. So I really feel like the anti-woke gooner group who are screaming loudly about every game, like Ghost of Yotai is getting they're doing GTA anime. Look up. I saw an ad for Ananta, and I heard that it was going to be a GTA style, and I'm kind of excited for that. I don't know anything about it, but I heard they're doing that. Ghost of Yotai has already been getting review bombed by people because there's legitimately people out there who are like, I don't know if offended is the right word, but that's the word I'm going to use. They're like offended that you play as a female main character. Like they cannot possibly comprehend a world where you're playing as not a man. And I don't understand why it upsets them to this degree that they have to spend their free time going online, complaining about it, boycotting, and screaming to other people about how much they hate this decision. Like, there is the option to just not play the game. They copied the Spider-Man swing and wall run. You know, I don't have a problem with that. You know, every great game we have now exists in some capacity because they copied something from other games, right? Like Mario, the original Mario games, and to a degree Mario 64 were the gold standard for platformer movement. If someone wants to make a good platformer, the first step you make is to steal the momentum and movement and controls from Mario, right? So like, every great game to some degree is going to take something from a previous game. So I don't have a problem with them taking the Spider-Man movement and stuff like that, because the Spider-Man movement is fun. It's a ton of fun to just swing around the city and explore the city. So go ahead, take it, please. The only thing I really miss in gaming right now is when games used to take like a big chance on their sequels. Like back before games were like really established, we're talking NES eras, when a number 2 came out, you had no idea if that game was going to be like anything like the first game, right? The first Legend of Zelda, you got the top-down open world explore RPG, and then the second game was an actual like side-scrolling RPG adventure, completely different game. You look at Mario and Mario 2, where they went into like, oh wow, this is a completely different game, and I do miss that to a degree. I do miss when you never knew if the next game was going to like completely shake it up, try completely different new things. Like, it was always exciting, and now you know, okay, well this game did well, so the sequel's going to be the exact same thing. The only game that did something different in that regard was Darkest Dungeon did try that. Darkest Dungeon tried shaking it up and releasing a completely different style for their second game, and unfortunately it kind of bit them in the butt because it did not do well. But I appreciate that they tried to do something different and new, you know? I am not the guy who does that with a flute, no. When you complete Borderlands 4 main story, what level are you? I completed the main story at level 28, and I was massively under-leveled. Apparently the devs want you to be closer to level 30, 35 to complete the main story. So if you absolutely rush it and do zero side content, you will hit a wall in the story and you will not be able to progress because the enemies will just simply out-level you so much that you won't be able to do anything. So you should be about level 30 when you finish the main story for Borderlands. Alright, I think we can all agree this grenade is garbage. It is just not doing the damage required of a grenade. It's cool. The swarm is really cool, but it is not dealing damage. No, I do not debase myself for donations. I stream for the fun of it. You know, if I make some money off of it, great. It goes into a fund for us to go to Italy, but I don't humiliate myself on camera for money. I will, however, share bad opinions for free. That is something I greatly enjoy. That is a great pleasure in life, is getting to share my absolutely horrible opinions. That I will gladly do at no cost. Now let's set this dude on fire. Also tonight, I'm excited for the new South Park episode is finally coming out. It's been delayed by like a week and a half. I'm excited to see what they're doing for the new South Park episode. Very excited to see. I don't know if they're doubling down on like the Charlie Kirk stuff, because there was controversy and there was alleged cancellations. I'm excited to see what exactly they are going to do with this. So. Alright, where is this plant sample we need to pick up? South Park is still going, and it's going strong. Like, the early South Park is great. Don't get me wrong. It's hard to compete with the early South Park. But the new seasons after about, like, Season 20, when they introduced PC Principle, have been absolutely phenomenal seasons. It's still going just as strong, if not stronger than ever. So if you haven't watched it in a while, there is some great episodes of South Park still out there to enjoy. So give it a go. It's worth it. There's some episodes I don't like, but you know, you can't love every single episode, right? Okay, this weapon has more damage, and it has cryo, which my character needs cryo damage. So let's try that, since the grenade was a little lackluster for me. Let's try the cryo that we picked up here, and okay, so we have to retrieve the plant sample, and it looks like it's above us. Let's go grab that. But yeah, South Park is still going strong, and I'm glad for it. I think they definitely deserve it. They have been putting out solid stuff consistently. Now, see, that's some damage. Holy cow! That's what you like to see out of a grenade. Yes. There's a video I've been wanting to make. Me saying yes just reminded me. I probably will never make this just because the way YouTube works, but I've been thinking about putting together a compilation of like random things from childhood cartoons that are still like stuck in my head, that just live in my head rent-free. Like, if you ever watched Ed, Edd and Eddy, Ed saying, "You bet your sweet Bippy," has been stuck in my head for like 20 years. But the one that's been stuck in my head the most was, back in the day, there was a show called Billy and Mandy. AM, thank you for the good luck. There was a show called Billy and Mandy, and there was an episode they did with Fred Burger. And if you know Fred Burger, then it's probably been stuck in your head forever as well. I absolutely loved Fred Burger, and just the way he's like, "I can spell my name, F-R-E-D, Fred, F-R-E-D-B-U-R." That has been stuck in my head forever and ever, and I randomly throughout the day say, "Fred Burger, yes." It's been stuck there forever and a half. And I feel like I'm the only person who watched Billy and Mandy. Like, anytime I talk to someone about it, I never found anyone else who watched the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy back in the day on Cartoon Network. But that is one of the best old Cartoon Network shows. Even though I think Nickelodeon technically won the Cartoon Wars. You know, I think Nickelodeon had a better lineup. Cartoon Network still had its fair share of pretty decent shows. All right, where's our plant sample? Our plant sample is... Oh, I would have never think to pick that up. Apparently, I can't pick that up. Oh, great, it's a glitched quest. I came all this way for nothing. What? What just hit me? Hello? Some random ghost just shot me in the head. There we go. Well, I guess the ghost fixed the quest, because, I was able to pick up the quest, so... Thank you, random headshot ghost, for unbreaking the quest for me. Nickelodeon won the war no matter what for having Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? Like, that is, without a doubt, I think most people can agree that is the best cartoon from that era of all time. The only cartoon I could say that maybe even beats it now is Bluey. And even though Bluey isn't, you know, made for everyone, it's all ages, but I understand that like adults without kids don't necessarily like it. I think we can agree that Bluey is better. They did win that one fair and square. Antonio here from Brazil. Hello, welcome. That is awesome. We've had a few people from Brazil come through. What's it like in Brazil right now? I don't even think the sun's up where I'm at right now, so... What game is this? This is the new Borderlands 4 that just came out. Borderlands 4. Let's see what we got. We got collect and acquire. Those aren't what we're looking for. We're looking for vile bounty quests to level up more. So let's go check out our home base and see if we can get some vile bounties. Did you also see, speaking of like console wars and cartoon wars, Costco is no longer selling Xbox. They've made the business decision that it's no longer worth their shelf space to carry Xbox. Like, between PS5 getting all the good exclusives and the Nintendo Switch holding onto the niche, I kind of feel like Xbox has lost. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like Xbox is no longer like relevant anymore. Like they lost bad enough that no one cares about Xbox anymore. Never played any of them. Are the Borderlands games good? I think the Borderlands games are good. Even if you go back and play Borderlands 1, I believe it still holds up pretty darn well for the time period and all that sort of thing. I would say they are worth it, though I will say... hello, Patrick. Good morning. I will say that Borderlands has a very, very particular sense of humor. So if you're not into crude humor and like constantly having jokes screamed at you, I don't think you'll have a good time like with the story, but just like the gunplay mechanics and the loot. Borderlands, I don't know if it officially made the looter shooter genre, but Borderlands is the king of looter shooters. So if you enjoy the idea of like constantly going and finding new gear and defeating hard bosses to get better gear, to defeat hard bosses to get better gear, that is 100% going to be your kind of game. Borderlands 1 is a little rough. Borderlands 2 is widely regarded as like absolutely perfect, the best game in the series. Borderlands 3, a little cringy. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is like a what if Dungeons and Dragons in Borderlands, so if you haven't played them, you can usually pick them up for really cheap, and it's worth going back and seeing. Tofu's here. Good morning, Tofu. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, it's night to us. Yes, I stream super early in the morning. I stream at 5 a.m. my time, so I usually end up getting a lot of people from around the world who it's nighttime or dinner time for them, because who wants to watch a streamer at 5 o'clock in the morning, you know? It's just another handheld. Honestly, yeah, if you're going to get a handheld, most people are going to go for Nintendo. Saying you don't want a Nintendo system and you want something a little bit better than a Nintendo system, like for your Steam library, you're probably going to buy a Steam Deck, and like the Steam Deck is on sale right now for like $300. So like, in what universe are you dropping $1,000 on a new Xbox handheld when you could just go pick up a Steam Deck and it'll play 90% of your Steam games just fine, and you'll still have $700 left over to do whatever you want with, right? Like, I don't see Xbox making a comeback. They're gonna have their niche, sure. I'm sure there'll be people who buy it and like enjoy the Game Pass and all that, but I think Xbox has lost. Xbox needs to accept that they made some missteps and bad decisions, and they are no longer in the running for winning any of the console wars. The console war is over. You have lost. It is time to concede. Let's go to that crawler, and it looks like I got a mission right up here, so let's go do these. What's new with you, Tofu? I was just thinking about you, because I was looking at my memberships this morning, because you gifted all those memberships, which I greatly appreciate. So I was just thinking I hadn't saw Tofu in a little bit, so I'm glad you're here. It worked out perfectly. Just wait until FSR4 drops, official for Steam Deck and all the other What is FSR4? What's that one? There is great rumors about PlayStation handhelds, and I really hope this is true, but a lot of people are saying that the next PlayStation console is going to be a revival of the PlayStation Pocket or the PlayStation Portable. Like, you already got the PlayStation Portal, which allows you to just link up and grab your PlayStation games anywhere. We don't need another handheld PlayStation. But if someone actually makes... There is a niche market that is being ignored right now. The handheld market blew up. Nintendo doing awesome on that. No doubt there. However, the whole point of a handheld for so many people isn't to pull up Red Dead Redemption 2 and play it on the train or the bus, right? Like, the point of a handheld, like the Game Boy, the original Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance excelled at this, was I've got 10 minutes while I'm waiting in line at a grocery store or something, so I'm going to turn on the Game Boy, the game will start immediately, and I can just start playing it. Like, the ability to just turn it on and have a tiny, portable, handheld, not obnoxious, easy, arcade-style game. That niche is coming back, I feel like. I feel like there is a gap for people who want to be able to play small amounts of small video games without having to pull out, your giant Switch or your giant Steam Decks and things like that. Like, they're cool, but they're way too big and conspicuous to, like, have out in public, right? Like, we need something smaller. We need the return of the Game Boy Advance DS or Game Boy Advance or even like a Game Boy Color. Like, if they make a true, honest, portable, small console like that, I feel like PlayStation can definitely grab some of the market share. Because, like, we see that, like, already in the statistics, right? Like, statistically, the most played games are mobile. Like, mobile gamers are absolutely a huge market share that are just being ignored left and right and left to the wolves of predatory gotcha games. The newest AMDS Upscaler Edition, which can rival DLSS, and it's going to be usable to close to any graph. Really? Okay. I'm down for that. I'm down for NVIDIA having some competition. I feel like NVIDIA's gotten a little too big for its britches lately, It's out here releasing $1,000-$2,000 graphics cards because no one's buying AMD and everyone wants NVIDIA. And I feel like they could do with some good, healthy competition. The new Xbox handheld is a Steam Deck with Game Pass. Everyone's going to sleep on it, but I swear it's going to pop off. Game Pass, I definitely feel like a lot of people sleep on. Game Pass is an absolutely incredible deal that I think more people need to jump on. They have all those emulators out there. I thought about trying one, but I don't trust them. Well, as you know, when I rant about these things, I don't really believe in emulation unless you actually own the game yourself. So I try not to emulate too much because I am not a fan of it, because it encourages a lot of people to pirate and steal. So I avoid emulation for the most part. Also, yes, those ROM sites can definitely be very sketchy at best. Mosey, good morning. Nvidia is like fully crazy. Oh yeah, they've gone off the deep end with some of their stuff, without a doubt. These guns are so hard to hit. Holy cow. Maybe my aim is awful, apparently. I think it's time I accept that I just cannot aim in shooters. I think we can all agree I am terrible at shooters. That being said, I'm a part of the problem, because when the Nvidia 6090s come out, I do plan to fully upgrade to a Nvidia 6090 when those come out. As long as there's some increase. Like, I didn't upgrade to the 50 series because they said it was only like a 30% upgrade, and that didn't seem worth it. But I will probably get a 6090 if we've made it to Italy by then, you know, because I know buying a 6090 will basically be the same cost of going to Italy. So if we've already made it to Italy and made our dream trip come true, then I will invest the money into getting my 6090. But hopefully it's still a little ways out. I don't know, when's the 6090 series supposed to come out? It's this year, right? Or next year? Can't even remember. Can't keep track of it anymore. When I saw the latest Steam user statistics, I cried a little inside. 90% graphics card or NVIDIA. That's what I'm saying. Like, they need the competition. 100%. They need competition. It is not good for a company to dominate the market share for so long that they get complacent and start releasing sub-tier products at an incredible cost. And I feel like that's where we're at now, where the new graphics cards aren't that impressive, but they have a massively impressive cost associated with them. Alright, where is Pew Pew, this boss that we need to battle? Is he above us more? Is this where Pew Pew is?
Doesn't sound great.
No? Oh, there he is. Pew! Kind of a lackluster boss, but okay. Enter the Gim. What is that? I guess we're gonna find out. Bubble's here. Good morning, Bubble. Good morning, good morning. What is new with you today?
But I do not blame you. Any more than I blame the tree for rising from the seed. It is simply your programming.
Alright, do we have a boss fight now? Okay, looks like we finally got the boss fight. So what do we got here? We got Pew Pew. Let's try and freeze him up a little bit here. We're just gonna whip him a little bit. Just living life. How about you? I've got my final dentist appointment today, and then I'll finally be done being tortured by the dentist for a little bit. The local furry group is putting on a whimsical festival this weekend, so I'm going to go to that. Outside of that, not a whole lot. This weekend's supposed to be a relaxing weekend. We've been doing too much stuff this weekend, so I'm glad to finally have a little chance to relax and be done with the dentist. And I'm super excited for going to... you can get the shots this time? I am not going to get the shots this time. We are going with the topical oral gel and a little bit of pain and suffering to teach us a lesson. Dentist and furries. So I'm excited to go to the furries because I think I showed this off on my last stream, but I have this, which is a modern digital version of a Super 8 recorder that you full on put up to your eye and have to record, but it uses digital filters to make it look like it's Super 8 footage without actually having to have Super 8 footage. So I'm excited to go to a little festival and record on it and see what that looks like to have actual video in that Super 8 style, you know. So I'm very excited to get to play with that. I also, since the Feast of the Archangels is coming up on the 29th and it's the end of my 40-day fast, I've talked about making a video for this fast, which I'm very happy to do, and talk about what I've learned and the weight I've lost and the feelings and all that sort of thing. I need to shoot a bunch of B-roll footage for that, so I'm probably going to spend this weekend and next weekend out shooting B-roll footage, you know, random shots of cars and trees and squirrels and birds and different things, just to shake up the video a little bit. So I've got a lot of recording that I need to go out and do, but I'm very excited to make this video. I'm trying. This is my attempt. So if I know most of y'all don't watch my videos, and I have no problem with that. I'm not complaining about this. Simply stating a fact of where I am right now, and that is my last four videos that I've released on YouTube have been they've done abysmal numbers. My last video I have 10 views on. Before that I have 30 views. Before that I have 20 views. I am just not hitting the algorithm at all. So this next video is going to be my attempt to make something a little bit more artistic, a little bit more docu-series style, a little bit more serious cinematography rather than just background of me playing games and then yapping about whatever topic. So I'm hoping that will be interesting, and I'm hoping it'll be something that people like, because a part of me has always wanted to be a cinematographer, an actual video maker who makes actual movies and such. So I'm gonna dip my toes into the genre and see what I can do with it, but I don't have high expectations. Based on how YouTube has been sending my videos out to absolutely no one lately, I assume that it is going to flop like every other video, unfortunately. And that is completely okay. You know, maybe I'm just better live than I am on video for whatever reason. You know, maybe people just prefer to see my wonderful, charming personality in person rather than yapping for 20 minutes on a video. Hear you out. Alright, I'll hear you out, Dex. Ric Flair impression? I don't know who Ric Flair is. Who is Ric Flair? I feel like that's a wrestler. That sounds like a wrestler name. I froze that guy mid-dab. He's a wrestler. Look at that. See, I got one right. I identified a celebrity. I don't know. Dex has been talking to me about other people on social media. I don't remember who it was, but he was talking about some guy who was way into all the scat stuff and had a lot of people watching him. So maybe I'm just going at the wrong angle. Maybe I need a new, fresh angle for my videos. Maybe that's how I'm going to obtain all the views that I crave. I saw him at Comic-Con one year and got him to woo at me. Maybe I just need a new gimmick for the attention that I crave.
You'll need a lot of bullets to kill me.
You don't have to worry, Dex. That is never the angle I will go with, because my parents very occasionally will drop into the stream, and you know, I cannot bring great shame to my parents. So that is, if nothing else, the reason why my stream will always remain family friendly and I will always try and stay on track is because I don't want my parents to walk in on me doing some weird gimmick for attention, right? Like, I don't want my dad to come in and hear me going like, ooh, ooh, what's this? Like, the incredible shame that would never go away. Just got to upload stolen memes as shorts. I do upload a lot of memes, but I am proud to say that I do not steal memes. Every meme that I upload, like my Dungeons and Dragons memes, those are all Waffles originals. I put the time into thinking up a silly caption to put on those videos. They're all homegrown, organic memes a la Waffles. I've been trying to forget about that guy since I watched the video. Thanks for reminding me. It is amazing how much attention you can get and how popular you can get as a streamer by just being the most unlikable person in the world. Like, you would think, like, oh, they're a streamer, they got to have like a great personality, and you know, they got to be smart and intelligent and have all these things. Luna, good morning. But no, what the people crave is trashy reality TV, right? They want to watch their train wrecks in slow motion. So it seems like it's the polar opposite. The more unlikable you are, the more likely you are going to be a viral sensation, because people are going to come to watch just to hate you and tell you how much they hate you. And it works, right? Like that negativity is huge for getting views and popular and all that. People love to be haters. I'm here for the beer and the beaches. I love bad reality TV. That's exactly what it is. Bad reality TV, I think, is a lot of people's guilty pleasures. And there used to be a time like when Jersey Shore and the Snooki were like really popular. Like, that was a long enough time ago where people were still ashamed of, like, no one admitted to watching the Jersey Shore, and yet it put up like 20 million views every time it played on TV, right? So it's one of those things where, like, no one will admit to watching this, and yet somehow it's got the population of a large island nation tuning in every single week. So obviously someone's watching it. So isn't that... I know her name is Snooki, but isn't she thus, like, isn't it like the Snooki, like, isn't it a title? I thought it was not a name, I thought it was a title. Am I wrong? You look like the situation, to be honest. I couldn't tell you what the situation looked like, but I'm fairly certain that one is an insult. I can never tell if people are trolling. You'd say I look like the situation. I have had more than one person come through and say that I look like Mr. Beast, and like like I said, I don't watch Mr. Beast, so I have no idea what Mr. Beast looks like. But I can't tell, are people trolling me, or are they like honestly like, you look like Mr. Beast? Like, I've never seen the dude, so I couldn't say whether or not they're telling the truth. But I've had quite a few people tell me that I look like Mr. Beast. I can't tell if that's a compliment or not. Being right next to that region of the world where I grew up going to the Jersey Shore, everyone here watched it and quoted it daily. I missed out on it. I have never seen an episode of Jersey Shore. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think I've ever watched MTV, to be quite honest. The only thing I can think of that might have been on MTV is when my brother used to watch the Most Extreme Elimination Challenge. I'm pretty sure that was MTV, but even that I'm not certain on. What game is this? This is the new Borderlands 4. The new Borderlands game. You had Mike the Situation, Ronnie the I Don't Know, and the guy with the big hair gel. Let's see, how do I get up there? I've got to get this wackadoodle part up there somehow. It feels like that's probably the solution. That random thing it's carrying there, maybe? Also, we did my official weigh-in yesterday. I officially broke into 269 pounds, so still overweight, still got some work to do, but I'm now in the 260s, and that makes the grand total for weight loss at 17 pounds for this fast. So I was hoping to lose 20 pounds during this fast, and I don't think I'm going to be able to lose 4 more pounds by Monday. So I think we're going to fall short of our goal, but still 17 pounds, probably 17 pounds in 4 weeks is pretty impressive, I feel like. Good morning, Ben. I still think that's a personal win. I still take that as a personal win. Where did my... Okay, there it is. He's still angry. Sammy dodged a bullet. I have no idea what you're talking about, but sure. Yes, W for weight loss. We have been trying to lose. We have lost 170 pounds in total. So we have been going hard on the weight loss, and we've still got. I would like to lose. Oh no! Don't drop it! Don't lose it. I would like to lose. I mean, honestly, I'd like to hit 199 pounds. I'd like to hit that Wonderland, which means that I still need to lose about 60 pounds. But 170 ain't nothing to sneeze at. Get a voice changer, a curvy VTuber model, change your name to Sexy Saint Waffles, and reel in the viewers. Yeah, there's definitely... I know the VTubing craze is absolutely huge right now, but I feel like all the people who watch the VTubers lately, I feel like that again is like capitalizing on the child audience. I definitely feel like most of those VTubers know exactly what they're doing, and they're trying to pander to children. And I'm not about that life, so I feel like most of the VTubers are very scummy. Maybe I'm judging them, you know. Maybe I'm just being a jealous hater here. But I definitely feel like a lot of the VTubers are kind of icky, you know? Talking about weight loss, talking about Jersey Shore, you're going, you know, gain about that life. No, I agree. I get random VTubers always popping up on my, like, I don't watch TikTok, so I get like Facebook memes and stuff, so it's always on my Facebook, and it always seems like it's the same things over and over, which is overly large breast VTuber models, and they're just talking about vaguely sexual things. Do my Randy Savage. That is literally the only sort of voice impression that I can do that I think I do well is the Randy Savage. Oh yeah, is I think the only voice impression that I do that's actually kind of sort of decent. All right, we have run out of ammo, so we are in trouble here. And I think I dropped the objective and it despawned, so that's frustrating. You're a sub? Thank you so much, Aura. I appreciate the subs every little bit. I appreciate everyone who hangs out here in the morning and talks to us. And you know, like I said, I do this for fun. I don't do it for money. If I raise a little bit of money for my trip to Italy in the meantime, you know, I'm not gonna say no. I enjoy that, but this is truly just I have a passion for it. I enjoy it, and so I spend my days hanging out with all of you. How about creating an ASMR waffle short? Just a joke, but it could garner more attention. Every time I do my ASR, Dex freaks out and says no to that. Dex hates it when I do the ASMR waffles stuff. So apparently I'm just not good at ASMR. Or Dex is a hater. It's one or the other. We're not sure which one it is at this part, but Maybe Dex is just a hater. This guy does not want to die. All right, we finally broke his shield. Set him on fire. Maybe it's both. There we go. There we go. Holy cow, that guy did not want to get blown up. Which I guess I get. Fair. Fair didn't want to get blown up. I understand. But here, we'll give it a try since this is being requested. As soon as I'm done. Why do these guys never stop spawning? Holy cow. All right, we need some ammo. Give me some shotgun ammo, please. We need to stop spawning so that I can do ASMR videos. This is not very demure of you, Borderlands. Is that still fetch to talk about? To use the yes, very demure, very cool. Is that still hip? I do have one ASMR video on my channel, actually. I do have one. If you search for it, we did, for fun, we did a, what do you call those? What? The thing that that one guy did way too many of, it's not a smorgasbord, it's, what is it? What is it called when you put like all the food together and you eat all the food on camera? What is the word for that? There's like a streamer word for it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where like you buy a bunch of different food and then you eat it all on camera and you smack your lips and you go, nah, nah, oh, you're so good. What is that called? Mukbang. Okay, so yes. I did do, I got my cat because I love my cat very much. I bought my cat a bunch of different flavors of food and like a little pate and a little soup. And I did a cat mukbang video where I set up the camera and the food so that he could fully enjoy all of his meals. So somewhere deep in the depths of my video, there is a cat mukbang video where you can watch my cat enjoy different foods while he purrs and licks the bowl clean. So I do have one ASMR mukbang video, but it's not me. It's all on my cat, whose name is Sunny. So there is one of those, but we can try. We can try for a tofu by request. All right, guys, we're gonna start with the Dippy Tappies here. This is All Saint Waffles ASMR stream. Get those brain tickles in. There you go. We did some brain tickles or whatever they call them. I have dogs, but I like cats. I like dogs, but I understand I will never be a good dog owner, so we do not own dogs. We have a yard, but my yard isn't great for dogs, and we just don't have enough room for them to run around and be a dog. So you know, I understand my limitations. So cats for me. I will take cats all the time. Now, how do I get up? How do I get up there? I don't see a ladder. I don't think I can jump that. So how? Here, let's put this down. Don't go far. Okay, let's put that down. Is there like something for me to grab onto? Get a little ankle biter. Your house will be huge to them. Maybe if I shoot something, will something break off? Like, thank you so much, Tofu. Thanks for hanging out this morning. Have a good day and a good weekend, and we'll see you next time. Am I not seeing, like, am I dumb here? Like, give me the spoilers. Backseat game. Does someone see Oh, do I have to... Do I have to jump from over there? Like, is that... Alright, I think we solved it. So if I throw this straight up so that it gets stuck on... Okay, wait. Okay. A little closer. Throw this up. Okay. That's stuck up there. Now if we fly over here... Far, good morning. For some reason, they're always angry. I actually read an interesting article about why, like, little chihuahuas are always angry. And someone said that the reason why chihuahuas are always angry is because little dogs are often seen as, like, super cute. So when they show, like, aggressive tendencies, it's viewed as, like, adorable rather than actually, like, a threat or bad thing. So they tend not to have, like, their negative traits corrected because people are like, oh, well, he's just so cute, right? He's not actually going to hurt you. And so they don't fix the aggression in them because it's seen as cute, not actual aggression. And that's why they tend to be so overly aggressive, is because people aren't properly training them because they don't view the dog aggression as actual, like, threats or aggression. All right, we got it. We figured it out. We solved a puzzle. I don't like small dogs. I had a Kangal once. What is a Kangal? And what is that? A world event at the Gordello? I've never done that. What's that? Let's go check that out. I properly trained my Chihuahua. He's not aggressive at all, just a bit scared of big dogs. And that's exactly why I think that article I read is absolutely true. That it's just people see them as not a threat, so they don't treat their aggression as, like, a real problem, and thus they don't actually do what they should for that dog. It's a dog breed name in Turkey. Did you like my backseat gaming? I did. I appreciate it. I know this is silly, but Emmy and I have been talking so much about having kids, and I understand that parents get tired of their kids and the annoying things, but I am so looking forward to that. I am so looking forward to having kids in the backseat yelling about, stop touching me, stop looking at me. Like, I want my house to be filled with the joy of children, and I really hope that we can have kids soon, because I know that for a lot of people, like, why are you wishing for that annoying thing? But I feel like it's going to be such a blessing and wonderful thing in my life. So I know you should make at least 2 boys. All right, Far. You've gotten some Saint Waffles lore. So, allegedly, according to my grandmother, allegedly, my family has been cursed by... I think this is kind of offensive, but she, cursed by the old gypsy woman. So I already know this is not a true story in any way, shape, or form. But that's how the story has always been told to me. I don't believe in that. I do not like that. I'm just simply rehashing the story that I've been told. Allegedly, my family has been cursed because one of my great-great-great-great-great-grandfathers was known as the biggest jerk in all the land, and everyone hated him. And he randomly made the wrong person upset, and so she put a curse on the family, and the curse goes as such. Every male-born child in our family will have a scar around their eye, and they will always have 2 sons so that the curse can perpetuate. And so my dad, 2 sons. My uncle, 2 sons. My grandpa, 2 sons. So, like, is it real? No. I have a scar right here from where a brother hit me with a shovel. My dad has a scar somewhere up here from the military. My uncle has a scar on his eye from where a drill bit went through his eye. So is it real? Probably not, but what a coincidence, yeah. So, and I would also believe the thing about the great-great-great-grandfather being the biggest jerk in all the land. I've got, you know, every family has its fair share of, like, just completely bonkers family lore, right? So that is one of the bonkers family lore with us. I'll share two more bonkers family lore from my family. Got to go. All right, Aura, thank you for hanging out. Have a great day. Two more absolutely out there. This one is confirmed true. This one my dad has confirmed is actually a true story. My grandfather, God rest his soul, he has passed away now, was an amazing man. He loved to build things, and he did not like to buy things. So what he would do is, my grandpa would see something that he would want, and then he would figure out how to build it. So, like, he saw a commercial for a 6-wheeled floating ATV, and he said, that is cool, and he went to his backyard and built a 6-wheeled floating ATV. He looked and saw pontoon boats. He said, oh, that pontoon boat is really cool. I want one. So he went and built a pontoon boat that he floated in his above-ground pool. Like, if it existed, he could build it. And so he worked as what a group is known as the Seabees. They are a group who, when in Vietnam, the Seabees would go into locations where nothing was built, and they would build a base in hostile territory. So he was the group where they would take, like, oh, we need a base here, so we're going to drop 10 Connex boxes full of supplies, and your job is to go in there and build the base out of this garbage so that the actual troops that we care about can come in here and run the military base. That was his job, was to go into the places that had nothing and build things. So he was an incredibly talented genius at putting things together. Love my grandpa. So allegedly, and again, I have verified this is actually true, when he got out of the service, eventually someone came back for him, and the Men in Black, like the real Men in Black, came up to him in the middle of the night and said, we need you to come back for a mission. We cannot reveal the details of the mission. I'm not trying to be edgy. It was legitimately like, this is a secret project. You will be gone for multiple years, and you will have a multi-million-dollar life insurance policy. In the likely event that you pass away, your family will be taken care of, but your country needs you. Will you come back to the military and do this project? And he turned them down, which I think was the better life choice for him. But I am always curious, what did the Men in Black want? So there's another piece of family lore for you. And we'll never know, right? We'll never know what the Men in Black actually wanted with him, but kind of a cool story. Okay, now you're going, all right, Aura, take it easy. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Oh, you said your name was Jay. Take it easy, Jay. We'll see you next time, Jay. I'm going to try and commit that one to memory. And okay, one more family story for y'all. This is another one that has been confirmed true by multiple people. We had a eccentric grandpa or uncle somewhere in the storyline, somewhere in there. And he had a secret underground entertainment bunker. And so he lived in California, and he would regularly entertain like the Hollywood elite. The governors and Hollywood people would come to the house, and they would go to the basement to have refreshments and talk and do whatever it is they do. Don't know what it was. One day, he got a phone call. He took the phone call, and his wife heard him taking the phone call, but didn't know what was said, just that, oh, he's on the phone. And then he put down the phone and immediately sold everything, abandoned his family, and moved into the woods to never be seen or heard from again. No one knows what was said to him or why, just allegedly that whatever was said to him scared him so bad, he sold everything, left his family for their protection, and then disappeared into the woods to never be heard from again. That's one of those like unsolved mysteries that we'll never know the answer to. What are these? That is my crazy family lore. So, you know, I don't know. And multiple people in the family said that is absolutely true. You had this uncle, he or grandpa, he had this underground thing where he entertained some elites, and then one day he just disappeared. And that is the running theory. Yes, that you know, he was involved with a lot of powerful people, and crimes caught up to him, and he didn't want to put his wife and children in danger, so he just disappeared into the woods, hoping that they would leave his family alone. That is the running theory. But nothing has ever been confirmed. So there's some fun Waffles family lore for you. Also fun Waffles family lore. My mom got really into genealogy for a while. Yes, this is Borderlands 4. My mom got super into genealogy and like looking up where the family's from and all that sort of thing for a long while. And we found out that we are very, very distantly, but still are related to I'm gonna mess up his name. Dostoevsky, the writer of War and Peace. Not like direct relative, you know, distance. Where, you know, if you go far enough back into genealogy, everyone's related to everyone, right? So like, it's not actually that impressive, but the family line does somewhere meet up with that family line at one point, which I thought was kind of cool. So somehow distantly related to that author. I wish that rubbed off on me. I've always wanted to be a writer. Yeah, Dostoevsky, the writer of War and Peace. I have always wanted to be a writer, and I consider myself on the tier of wannabe. I've always considered myself a wannabe writer. Not actually good at it, but I wanna be. So I wish that rubbed off on me and I had a little bit of that in me, you know? Apparently 0.5% of men are related to Genghis Khan. I'm fairly certain that number's actually higher. Genghis Khan had many, many descendants and relatives, so I think it's actually higher than 0.5. Genghis Khan had a huge, huge impact on those regions during his reign. Someone Google it. I think it's higher than 0.5. I can... Okay, Google. What percentage of the world's population is related to Genghis Khan? Oh, Google says 0.5. Says you're right. I always heard it was higher. Maybe just people exaggerating. I always heard it was like 5% or 10%, like a huge portion. I mean, 0.5 is still nothing to sneeze at, right? There's literally billions of people on Earth, and there have been literally hundreds of billions of people across all time. So 0.5% is still a pretty significant number of people. I hear someone who's got an explosive that is bad for my health. Where is he? I hear him again. Where is this guy at? There he is. Drop it. Drop it. Thank you. And another one coming. Oh, there's multiples. There's so many of them. Got him. Alright, freeze this guy up. He's going full berserk on us. Here we go. Come on. There we go. So many dudes, holy cow. When will this end? Like, so many dudes. And so much loot. That is one thing I love about the Borderlands series. If you're a fan of looter shooters and all that, like just seeing all these different colors on the ground, like all the colors of the rainbow of all the different loot, like I absolutely love that. Diablo 4, actually Diablo 3 was better about it. You know, Diablo 3, there was nothing more satisfying than finishing a run and just looking at the floor and there's just legendary and set items and rare items all over the ground. Like it's such a dopamine hit to see all those items just laying there waiting to pick through them. I know that 90% of the items are garbage, right? Like they're not actually good items, but
Now that's what I love to see. Here's some more time to kill.
I absolutely love the feeling of all the loot just sitting there waiting for you to look at it all. I agree. I'm going too slow here. I need more ammo. I'm back because the streamer has really toxic mods and they time out for no reason. I try to avoid that. I try and give everyone the benefit. You know, I try not to block or time out. There are a few people who have pushed my buttons, unfortunately, a little too hard. So we have had to block people, but I try not to time out or block anyone. You know, I try and let everyone be a part of the conversation and have fun and just you know, start the day right. That's always been my goal. Start your day absolutely right with waffles. But there are some people who unfortunately need to be kicked out every now and then. Alright, we completed the event. Do we get anything special for it, or did I just pick up all the loot on the ground? Atomic White Hole Exploder spawns a singularity, spawns a nuke. That looks pretty awesome. Shocks. I don't know. It's not very good. Nothing I need there. You're being nice as well. Yeah, I don't know. There are some streamers, and again, I'm sure this is just because they want like the negative attention, and negative attention helps their numbers and that sort of thing, right? There are some streamers who I think intentionally cultivate they intentionally cultivate a toxic environment, because the more people who are toxic and yell at them, the more interaction they get, the more money they make. Like Queso, right? Like Queso's a perfect example of that. Queso wants people to come in and call him fat and make fat jokes, right? Because every time someone does that, it gets other people talking and making jokes and doing all those sort of things. And then that makes him get launched out into the algorithm, and then more people come and see him. And so, like, is it right or wrong? You know, I can't say, but it definitely seems like there are some streamers out there who intentionally are cultivating the toxicity. You know, and I feel bad. My mods, you know, Dex and John and Ben and Bubble and Emmy and all my mods are always putting in overtime, because I do get a lot of trolls who come through here to try and curate a nice vibe, when having a toxic vibe apparently just gets you more. Ethan, you look exactly like an old colleague, except he was ginger and angry. I mean, I definitely went through some anger myself. I believe that most young men at some point in their life will struggle with anger. I think that is just a very male-centric issue that is not talked about enough, and without proper role models and guidance in your life, that anger consumes you, and you've seen what happens when people get consumed by anger, is where we're at as a country right now. So I definitely believe that anger is a huge problem in the world right now, and not enough young men know how to properly handle it. Will I eat potatoes? I mean, I love a good potato, except for last night. Last night, Emmy made some hash browns that we grabbed out of it was, you know, bagged hash browns. They were the most tasteless hash browns I'd ever had in my life. I don't know how you make a potato not taste good, but somehow this company found a way to make potatoes not taste good. Is this Borderlands? Yes, this is Borderlands 4. This is the new Borderlands game. We just finished doing the gun arena. We've gone a few levels now without new gear, so I think it's time that we go do a little bit of gear hunting to upgrade our character just a smidge. Do you watch anime? Yes, I love anime, but I'm going to put a but on that. But there is a lot of anime I will not watch because I cannot handle all the gross fan service. Like any anime, like harem animes, where like, oh, we're gonna have a lot of fight scenes, but all the girls, all their grunts, and when they take damage sounds vaguely sexual, or their breasts are larger than their head and they're always flopping around. Like, I won't watch animes like that. What's your favorite anime and favorite anime character? So, right now, some of my favorite animes, Blue Eye Samurai. I think Blue Eye Samurai is absolutely incredible. Frieren. I think Frieren was a really original and awesome anime. My Hero Academia is one of my absolute favorites. Though even My Hero Academia pushes it with the fan service gets a little bit too much for me in that one. What do I think of One Piece? Yassar, you have officially unlocked today my unpopular opinion glasses. I am a certified hater of both One Piece and Dragon Ball Z. I despise both of them. I think they are some of the worst anime out there. I am a certified One Piece hater. I do not like One Piece at all. You should watch Berserk. I do want to watch Berserk. Here's the thing. We'll start with Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is terrible because there's nothing to it. The characters are one-dimensional. Oh, I'm Goku. I'm super strong and I'm super stupid and I like food. Wow, that's such deep character. Okay, what's the story of Dragon Ball? Let's see. The first arc, the Saiyan arc, you have, oh no, there's an enemy coming and he's too strong. Oh, we overcame the challenge through love and friendship and all that. Okay, next arc, the Frieza arc. Oh no, there's an enemy coming who's too strong. What are we gonna do? Oh, we overcame this challenge through love and friendship. Oh no, Cell is coming. He's super strong. What are we gonna do? Oh, we're gonna power up. We're gonna beat him with love and friendship. Oh no, Boo's coming. What are we gonna do? Love and friendship. It's the same story, over and over and over and over again. There is no story. The animation is old and outdated. The characters are one-dimensional and flat. Like there is nothing good about Dragon Ball Z. It's just the same thing over and over. And like, yeah, it's a fighting anime, so if you're watching it for the fights, okay, but the fights aren't even cool. The fights are always the same thing. It's 10 minutes of screaming, people teleporting around, 10 minutes of screaming, and then shooting laser beams at each other. Like, if you want to watch an anime that's got cool fight scenes, you could watch Demon Hunter or My Hero Academia or any of the anime that have way better fight scenes. You know, it doesn't have good story, it doesn't have good characters, and it doesn't have good fight scenes. So no, I do not like the Japanese animations with the girls in it. I don't like those cringy harem animes either. As for One Piece, I did play Borderlands 3. I did not like Borderlands 3. I was not a fan of Borderlands 3. Let's talk about One Piece. One, what do you think of K-pop Demon Hunter? I personally think it's overrated. I haven't finished K-pop Demon Hunter yet. A lot of people have told me that it's really good. I didn't hate it, but I haven't finished it yet. So someday I will finish it, and then I'll be able to have an opinion on it. As for One Piece, any story that needs a couple thousand episodes to tell a story and it's not done yet isn't a story worth telling. Look at the Lord of the Rings is what, like 16 hours for one of the greatest stories I've ever told. You can get through the Bible in about 24 hours. So like, who does One Piece think it is with this never-ending story? Like, the story isn't worth telling if it takes this long to tell it. 2, there's so much filler in One Piece, and I know people don't like to hear that. I don't mean filler episodes. I'm not saying there's filler episodes or filler arc, but the way that it's animated is that, like, here's a waterfall, and we're going to linger on this scene for 20 seconds. Like, it just lingers for so long. Luffy's voice in both Japanese and English dub is so annoying. So absolutely annoying. And once again, flat characters. Okay, you have Luffy. What's Luffy about? He's loud, he's obnoxious, he's stupid, and he likes food. Oh, gee, I haven't seen that before in anime. Another anime character who loves food and is really dumb but really likes to fight. Where have I seen that a million times before? So it's like, it's unoriginal, it's uninspired, it drags on forever and ever. The character design is hideous. Like, the art style overall is hideous. Like, there's just nothing good I have to say about One Piece. If Dragon Ball didn't exist, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece also wouldn't exist. I understand Dragon Ball has had a huge impact on anime, and I respect what it did for anime, but in 2025, there's just simply no reason to watch Dragon Ball. It's just not good anymore. Maybe it was good in the 80s, but there's just no reason to watch Dragon Ball in 2025. Same thing with One Piece. There's just no good reason to watch One Piece in 2025. When you've got Delicious in Dungeon, My Hero Academia, Frieren, Death Note, Full Metal Alchemist, like, you've got an absolute huge list of amazing anime. Why would you spend your time watching those? I don't understand it. Why would you? Nothing good there. Even like Avatar The Last Airbender. I know people will argue that Avatar The Last Airbender and Boondocks aren't anime. But you know what? They're in the animation style. They're inspired by anime, so I'm going to call them anime. I would much rather watch either of those anime than One Piece or DBZ. Naruto and One Piece were inspired by Dragon Ball? Absolutely. It was inspiration. But like, I know I overuse this example, but I'll use it again. I know Dex hates it, so sorry, Dex, but like the Beatles. The Beatles were absolutely a huge inspiration for so many bands. I respect that the Beatles were super popular and inspiration for so many people, but there's no reason to listen to the Beatles in 2025. They're just not good by today's standards. So yes, they inspired things, yes, they influenced things, but that doesn't mean they're good now. They had their time, but the 60s are over, you know? Do you play Minecraft? I have played Minecraft. I don't get super sucked into Minecraft like some people do. You know, I know a lot of people get really sucked into the Minecraft universe and all that. I really don't get sucked into Minecraft all that much. Here Comes the Sun is still a banger though. I couldn't tell you. I don't know nothing about the song except for literally those words. So I want to get Borderlands 4 so bad. I mean, it's only going to get better. Even if you can't get Borderlands right now, it's only going to get better with time. They're only improving the game. So even if you have to wait a year, all you're going to get is more DLC, more content. It's only going to be better. So it doesn't hurt to hold off a little bit on it, you know? It will only get better with time. Which country are you from? I am in the United States of America in the Great Pacific Northwest. Yeah, Minecraft gets boring for me too. That's why I don't play it a whole lot. Like, the idea is enticing to me, but there's not enough to it to actually keep me interested in it. But for the people who are, like, I'm not knocking it, you know, if people enjoy the game, go play Minecraft, right? Like, if you can enjoy it, then please do go enjoy it. Like, it's got some great ideas, some great gameplay. Did I hear a legendary? I did hear a legendary. Ooh. What did we get for a legendary here? We've got the Reveling Performative Lead Balloon Shotgun. This is the worst legendary in the game, so that's great. Someone, actually, no, I can probably get that one. Don't, oh, clicked the wrong one. Don't dox yourselves, please. Please don't share ages. We definitely want everyone to be safe, so we don't share ages on the internet. Actually, I got an ad for when I was scrolling through Facebook. There's a collective group coming out who is trying to do a lawsuit against Discord and Roblox for all the children who have been groomed through Roblox and Discord. So it's a bad enough problem that they're like trying to put together a class action lawsuit against them. So I'm interested to see where that goes, and if these companies actually take like any sort of responsibility for their part in the problem. One second. It was weird. So I smelled smoke, which is not uncommon because a lot of my neighbors have like some wood stoves and stuff, so it's not uncommon to smell smoke. But then it felt warmer for a second. I was like, it's feeling hot and there's smoke. Is my house on fire? That was a small worry right there for a second there, but I think we're okay. But that was a little bit of worry for a second there. Which, since some of you are new here, I will share this story since we're talking about fire. So, fun story. I used to work for Wells Fargo, which is a bank, and I worked the phone customer service where like people would call in and ask questions about their accounts or things of that nature. And one of the calls that is stuck in my head that I have never been able to get out of my head. Good morning, Abyss. One of the things that was stuck in my head was this lady who called, and her smoke detector's going off in the background, so you just hear the beep, 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 and she's screaming into the phone. And this call has just been stuck in my head for years. She goes, "My house is on fire! What's my balance?" And I have never figured out like what has led to this in her life where her house is literally burning down around her. And she thinks, you know what? My house is on fire. I should call the bank and figure out how much money I have in my account. Why are those glasses on? Because someone asked what I thought about One Piece and Dragon Ball Z. And you know my feelings on both One Piece and Dragon Ball Z. The other call that I took when I was in the call center that has been stuck in my head forever and ever was this lady who called in, and I talked to her for 10 minutes, and I could feel my patience waning as I dealt with her because she had so many questions, and the way she talked just it burned into my mind forever. So this lady called in and she had a million questions about like her balance and the dollars in her account and how much she had, and just a million questions about her account, which that's what we're here for, so no problem there. But she calls in and she does, "Can I ask you a question? What the dollar in my account? Can I ask you another question? What the penny in my account? Can I ask you another question?" And she did that for 10 minutes. It's just, "Can I ask you a question?" Oh, I was losing it. I didn't expect a call center job to be one of those with those kinds of stories. Oh yeah. Call center. I worked the night shift at the call center, so we got so many strange calls in the call center. The worst of the worst is something I never had to deal with because I'm a man. But when it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you run a 24-hour call center, there are many men who will call into call centers because they are lonely, and they will try to talk to women because they are lonely. And we had one guy who was notorious for it. He would call in and specifically request to only talk to females, and then he would ask them to describe in depth things around the desk, like how many pencils do you have on your desk? How many staplers do you have on your desk? And he would call in until they would call him a pervert and hang up on him, and he would do that for hours. Just hours and hours and hours of calling in to try and talk to women. I worked Christmas Eve sometimes. Those ones were really sad because you'd get a lot of people who had no family, no friends, nothing like that in their life. So they would call in and basically just like, "Hey, it's Christmas. I'm lonely. Will you talk to me for 10 minutes? Sure, dude. Let's chat." That was a very common occurrence, unfortunately. I, for some reason, got the most calls of people also when they were depressed and they were at a end of their life, and like they had swallowed too many pills or were in the middle of attempting that. A lot of times they would not want to pass away while they were alone, so they would call into the call center, and that's literally, this lady asked me if I would stay with her on the phone while she waited for the pills to kick in, which that was I took a 30-minute break after that one. No lie. No lie. I did what I was required to do, which was call the police and try and get the police to her in time, but to just sit there and talk to someone while they're in the middle of overdosing intentionally was one of the most... I don't even know how to put it into words, what that experience was like as you're sitting there wondering, is this going to be the last thing that is ever said to this person? That I would not wish a call center job upon anyone. That is the one thing. I know people hate AI. I hope that AI reaches a point where we no longer as a species need call centers, because call center jobs are the most soul-sucking, horrific jobs in the world, and if no one ever had to work a call center job again, I think people would be better off for it. So that is one job I hope that AI truly does take away, because man, there are so many horrible stories from the call center life. Ooh, homing rockets that do 7,000 DPS. Well, we're gonna grab. That's pretty damaging. We like to see that. The night shift at any job is absolutely insane. I agree with that, but I will tell you, third shift gets a lot of flack, and it definitely does take a special kind of person to work third shift. But working third shift is absolutely amazing. It's so freeing to work at night when everyone else is asleep, and then sleep during the day, and then like every day if you need to go run some errands and chores, you can, because everything is open because you don't work in the middle of the day. Like there are some great perks and benefits to it. But I understand, again, it takes a very, very certain kind of person to be able to handle third shift. I would never use my phone again if AI took over call centers. I understand that some people need like tech support in call centers, and I understand AI call centers are awful. But I also don't want people to work there. Have you ever played the finals or Helldivers? Yes, I have played the finals. I am absolutely terrible at it, so I don't play it very often because I am horrible at the game. As for Helldivers, I am actually primarily a Helldivers content creator. So if you go to my channel, I have over 100 videos on Helldivers 2, from in-depth guides to breakdowns of armors and all sorts of things. So if you like Helldivers content, I am a Helldivers content creator first and foremost. Especially when I was in a phone role for retirement accounts, AI could never. Tyler, thank you for the sub. We love Helldivers here, 100%. That is my bread and butter. I love me some Helldivers 2. I am a little sad, since we're talking about Helldivers 2, I am a little sad that the CEO of Helldivers, of Arrowhead Studio, said that he hopes to make Helldivers 2 to be a lot like oh man, what's it called? To be like old RuneScape. He said he wants Helldivers 2 to be around for a very long time and just constantly updated like RuneScape, and not make a Helldivers 3. And I personally think that's a bad decision, because the Helldivers 2 engine is so janky and awful. Like every time they update the game, it breaks the game. Thank you for the sub. I really do think that the best decision they could make is to make Helldivers 3 in like Unreal Engine 5. And I know that people don't want to buy another game, but there's only so many people in the world who can program on that engine, and every time they try and make a change, it breaks the game. They really should focus on making a Helldivers 3 and get off that archaic and broken, terrible engine. I think that would be better in the long run. I understand why they don't want to do that, but I would be very happy if they would. Acknowledge me as your tribal chief. Excuse me. No, we have but one chief here, and that is Jesus Christ on this channel, our Lord and Savior. So I will not acknowledge anyone else as a chief. We have but one tribal chief, one leader, one God here. The guy got me and my boys 5 war bonds. Oh, from hacking. He had a stratagem called credit cards. See, that's funny. But, like, I support Helldivers because I want them to keep doing things, so I want to buy. Like, I don't do any super credit farming. I appreciate that they allow you to go super credit farming, and I understand for people who can't afford it, for them to be able to get war bonds and stuff that way is very awesome. But, like, me personally, I want them to continue to make content. I know they need money for it, so I personally buy every war bond with cash because I want to continue to give them money to make more content. I don't know if you're into the extended Star Wars lore, but there's these monks that give up their flesh until their brain in a jar, and that's where Helldivers will end up. Yes, I buy the in-game currency. I do not pick up the super credits. I buy the in-game currency every time. Fun waffles fact: I have never seen Star Wars. I've never watched a Star Wars. It is on my list of things to watch someday, but I have never seen Star Wars. Rich millionaire. I am blessed to have extra money. That is definitely a blessing that I have in my life. I wouldn't consider myself rich, but I do understand that I have the privilege of having money when a lot of people are struggling right now. So I try and make sure that that money is always given back to the community, and that I don't waste the money by buying frivolous things or spending it in such a way that it's just flaunting it at people, because I understand that while I have worked hard to get where I am in my life, and I have made sacrifices to be able to buy my house and do those sorts of things, I understand that there's also a certain level of privilege that has come with my ability to buy a house and own things. With the Pit Vipers on, yeah. So the Pit Vipers are honestly my biggest regret. I bought into the hype when they were on sale. I did not buy them full price. I got them on sale, and I started thinking, you know, the Pit Vipers do kind of look cool. Maybe I should get a pair. So when there was a sale, I bought them, and I put them on as immediately. No, these make me look like such an ass. I look like such a jerk with these on. But I already bought them, so it's not like I could just go throw them away. So I decided what I would do with them is, when I'm sharing my unpopular opinions, I put them on like a Green Goblin mask, so that people know they're my. You know how in nature creatures wear bright colors to let you know that they're dangerous? This is my. I'm gonna say really stupid things, so be warned. What you're about to see is going to be really, really frustrating. So that is why I still have these on. I don't buy super credits. From a third world Asian country with an economy that barely functions. Do we get a face reveal? I mean we can. My face is not hidden. You look like a Texan dad who fights alligators. With the Pit Vipers on, you look like someone who drives a lifted pickup truck and listens to Five Finger Death Punch. I like Five Finger Death Punch, but like only their first album. I have not enjoyed Five Finger Death Punch in quite a while, but the first album they put out wasn't that bad. But yes, I understand how these make me look, so that is why I couldn't get rid of them. I regret buying them, so I am stuck with my bad decisions. This machine gun is cool, but I don't feel like the machine gun is actually that good. Like, that really didn't do that much damage as compared to the rocket launcher, you know? I don't think I've ever enjoyed Five Finger Death Punch, and I'll listen to pretty much any metal band. Show your eyes. All right, we'll take off the bad opinion glasses since my bad opinion rant is over on One Piece and Dragon Ball, and we'll go back to the regular glasses so that I can actually see. How about that? Cash me outside. How about that? Ooh, that does some big DPS and fire rate. Okay, let's try that out. Let's try that bazooka out. So there you go. There I am without the Pit Vipers on. You know, I talk a lot about wanting to go to Italy, and I understand that being able to travel to another country and do a pilgrimage for the Catholic Church to Italy, I understand that is a huge privilege as well. And it's something I really want to achieve next year. And I've talked a lot about going to Italy, but I also understand, you know, the privilege that goes into being able to travel to a foreign country like that. And I understand why it's a sensitive topic for so many people who don't even have enough right now. They're struggling to pay their bills or don't know where their next meal is going to come from. Listening to some guy talk about going to Italy, I definitely understand why that might be a frustrating experience. So it's a delicate balance, right? It's a very delicate balance. I went from redneck to nerd. That is definitely my heritage. I think in many ways, I think redneck accurately describes my heritage. All right, so this is a extra fire rate bazooka. Let's try this bad boy out here. Oh, that is extra fire rate for sure. All right, that does some damage. We like that. In a good way. I've always wanted to go to Italy too. The art, the cuisine, the culture. Yeah, I want to go to see the Vatican. You know, I'm Catholic, so seeing the Pope in person is going to be hopefully a big thing. Big thing for me. You did not say redneck to nerd. Seeing the basilicas of St. Peter would be excellent. The culture, everything. There's going to be so much great stuff there. There's Italy. There's Japan I really want to see, and then there's Scotland and Ireland. Those are the big ones that I definitely want to see. All right, that bazooka's pretty darn good. All right, any good loot here? I feel like he's done dropping good loot for me. I feel like we farmed him too much and the good loot has stopped dropping. Dude, I'm trying to pick something up. Stop hitting me. I'm gonna lose my temper at you, bro. All I wanted to do was pick up the gun. Try Belgium or Antwerp, maybe? Okay. Here's the thing about going to Germany. I like Germany. I want to go to Cologne because Cologne has this absolutely beautiful cathedral. I want to see Germany. However, I don't drink alcohol, I don't drink beer, and I don't eat meat. So, like, I feel like if I go to Germany, I'm gonna miss out on, like, everything huge Germany has to offer. I'm not saying Germany is just bratwurst and beer, but also bratwurst and beer is, as my understanding, a huge part of Germany. And so not being able to enjoy either of those things kind of feels like a massive waste, you know? Belgium and Germany isn't the same thing. See, this is how you know that I'm American, because my geography is awful. I'm American. I wield my ignorance as a weapon. Though, you know, I will say going to Belgium for the waffles. I mean, Saint Waffles going to Belgium for the waffles. I mean, that just makes pure sense, right? Yeah, the Belgian waffles obviously a thing. My whole stream being waffles themed, probably. I don't eat chocolate either though, so that's also a waste. I don't eat I don't eat chocolate, so...
I'm going for it. You are way past your expiration date.
Alright, can we beat this boss before the timer runs out? Come on. Catch him on fire. It's gonna be close. We did it! Woo! Barely. Just barely. Alright, nothing. It's not as bad as the person who told me I'm not Asian because I'm Indian, because, you know, the largest country in the continent just doesn't exist. I feel like geography definitely, bad geography is definitely an American trope, but I understand a lot of people struggle with it, and there's a lot like I probably, let's see, could I name 25 different countries? I don't even know if I could name 25 countries. Like, geography is definitely not my strong suit. So let's try and name 25 countries. We got Germany and Belgium, since we already talked about those. You've got India, got Mexico, you've got Brazil, you've got Ireland, you've got Scotland, you've got Russia, China, Japan, Australia. I think New Zealand is technically, isn't New Zealand technically a different country than Australia? So we'll count that one. Ethiopia, North Korea, South Korea, not technically it is. So see, we're doing it. How many is that? Someone keep count. How many countries is that? Taiwan, Ukraine, Bulgaria. Stop dropping the shotgun for me, dude. The shotgun is awful. I don't want it. Tasmania. Norway, Sweden, Denmark. All right, Abyss, take it easy. Thanks for coming and hanging out today. Feel better. All right, last one. We're going to take this guy out, then we're going to go sell all of our stuff. Colombia. All right, Alec, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Have a great day. Ooh, a cryo grenade with cryo puddles. Let's try that out. Venezuela. Ooh, an armor shield with bundled on kill spawns missiles. Yes. Extra accuracy gun. Ooh, okay. That's a really good shield. That was a good last find. Tasmania doesn't count? Are you sure? See you next time, Alec. Are you sure Tasmania doesn't count? Pretty sure Tasmania is a part of Australia.
I get blood on my you sanitize this. You done with this? I think I might have sold
It might be. Tasmania is a state.
There's no shit. You won't buy you. No, you won't shit. How you done? No shit. You think when you need a
Again, American. All right, let's open some loot boxes. What do we got? We got paint. We got paint. We got paint. We got paint. We got a garbage gun. We got a garbage gun and paint. We got a really garbage gun. We got A class mod for kinetic damage. That's pretty good. Garbage. And a legendary, the Dark Beast. 2,692 DPS with Parlay. Bullets pierce enemies and have a 5% chance when hitting an enemy to cause an explosion, and it fires sniper rifle ammo. Alright, bet. Let's go test out the Parlay. Let's go find someone. There's some people just below here, so let's go test it out on these guys down here. Yarr. Do you all remember back in the early 2000s when everything was vampires versus werewolves and pirates versus ninjas? I miss when the world was that simple. Oh, ew, it's got burst fire though. Ew. I mean, it's good. It's doing some damage. It's doing work, but that burst fire is gnarly. All right, let's try sniper rifle mode. Oh, it's not great. It is not doing a whole lot against these guys. What is shooting those rainbow? Do y'all see those like rainbow bullets flying around? What is causing... Oh, that's when I'm getting hit. My shield now fires rockets. That's right. Okay. That's really good. My shield is really good. By the way, werewolves, pirates. Every time. Back when werewolves, pirates, ninjas, and vampires, whatever I was talking about, my OC, because I was an edgy role player kid who liked making original characters, pirate werewolf. The coolest character to ever exist. A pirate werewolf named Umbra. 'Cause that's Latin for shadow. You may now cringe. I don't know about this Dark Beast. Like, it's not bad, but it's also not great. Not bad, but not great. Alright, what should we do next? Let's go find some more missions for leveling up. Now I've been cringing the whole time. That tracks. That tracks. As you should be. Let the cringe flow through you. There it is. Okay, that's what we wanted. We wanted a vile bounty. We need to drop a contract really quick though. Alright. Vile bounty. Let's go fight the Cranch. It helps aim with burst fire. It helps aim, but like, it's a submachine gun. The job isn't to aim. The job is to go fire many bullets very fast, you know? Its job isn't to be accurate. It's to spray bullets really fast. If I wanted to be accurate, I would use a sniper rifle. Alright, super boss up here, who drops legendary loot. Hopefully, it's a Cranch. I hate fighting the Cranches. I hate flying enemies. Flying enemies are the worst in any sort of game, but there he is. Alright. Give me the delicious loot. Alright, that's pumping out some decent damage right there, though. I will say that's pumping out some decent damage. I don't like burst fire either. Yeah, I want fully automatic firing hundreds of bullets per second. Give me the damage. Alright, the Cranch is dead. Let's see what we get. Hopefully another legendary. We could always use more legendaries. Why do these guys not want to die? You have way too much health. There we go. Okay. He dropped garbage. Raise, good morning. How's it going? I am doing good this morning. Except for I have to go to the dentist at 1 o'clock. Not excited for that. But other than that, you know, it's a good day. It's Friday. I don't work on Fridays, so you know, I got the weekend has started, and I am excited for the weekend. All right, problem solved. I guess I have some skill points to use too. I have 4 skill points. I haven't used skill points in a while here. Let's see. Let's put a couple points there, a couple points there. All right. And some specialization points. We're going full damage, and whenever the Vault Heal deals gun damage, gain a stack of Riddle this, increasing gun damage. Stacks are lost if a new stack has not been gained during the duration. 50 stacks of gun damage, yeah. All right. You're doing work on soil. Is that exciting or not? Or is that boring? I can't tell. All right. All right, this new shield is pretty awesome. Usually those guys one-shot me, so this shield absorbed a lot of damage. A lot of damage. School it bugs out. Oh, autocorrect got you. Okay. Our schools need all the help they can get. I understand our school systems are not in a great place. Through no fault of their own. Can you do a shout out to my friend? His name is... Nah, I'm not falling for that one. Mods, do you want to send him to the Shadow Realm? Ooh, okay, that guy got me. Is there anyone around for me to... I can maybe hit those guys over there? Nope, they're all hiding. That is the worst in Borderlands, when you get downed and everyone goes and hides. That is the most frustrating thing. We're like, oh, you're down? It makes sense. Like, it makes sense that they run and hide, but... Man, it kills the fun and the action, right? When they just run away from you. Alright, time for revenge. Let's keep those guys alive, because I'm gonna need them to revive if this guy hits me. Oh well, revenge! Revenge has been granted. One last guy. Revenge. And treasure chest full of... Ooh. Garbage. Garbage. And garbage. Is there any new weapon brands in the game? Yes. There's, as far as I know, the Order is the new weapon brand in the game. It is a gun that you hold to charge, and then it can fire up to like a 5-round burst once it's charged. It is the absolute worst new weapon brand. People absolutely hate it. So they took away a lot of the other old weapon brands that people loved, and then they gave us one that everyone absolutely hates, and people go out of their way. They go out of their way to actively avoid the new order guns because they are truly awful. All right, let's collect the horns we need. We just need a couple more. We're almost there. Should not be this hard to collect that many things. Is there still Jacobs and Atlas? Yes, Jacobs is in the game. I don't believe Atlas is. There's Jacobs, there's Vladoff, there's Maliwan, there's the Order, there's Torg. And I want to say that's it. See, Maliwan. Oh, Ripper is new. Ripper, I think, is new. You hold down the fire button and it fires faster and faster. Tedior. Had to wait 20 minutes because I didn't want to play a certain reload map on Fortnite. Ooh. Alright, these guys want to play. They want to play lots of bullets. I can absorb lots of bullets, so. I know Amon is the weakest, and everyone plays Vex or Rafa, but his shield whip is so cool. The maps change every 20. I haven't played Fortnite in forever, so I have no idea. Rapid Daisy Cutter Exploder. That sounds cool. Let's try that out. All right, let's go try our Rapid Daisy Cutter grenades on something. My favorite Borderlands pre-sequel because you can play as Claptrap. I missed out on the pre-sequel, but I've heard a lot of people like that one. I can't wait to see what the DLC characters they release for us are. I don't like Fortnite anymore because it's getting fused with brain rot. The thing I don't like about Fortnite isn't necessarily Fortnite's fault, but it is. I hate that because they found so much success that now every company wants to emulate that, and they're doing all these partnerships. And like, we were talking about Helldivers, right? I love Helldivers. We talk a lot about Helldivers. I would be so mad if Helldivers decided to start doing crossovers and I had to Helldive with like Nicki Minaj next to me or Snooki or anything like that. Like, I hate the crossovers that ruin the lore of the game. And Call of Duty went super bad with it, right? Because Call of Duty now you have Snoop Dogg and T-Pain and all those sort of things in there. Like, it's awful. I don't want that in my games. And I hate that Fortnite has made that so popular where everyone feels like, oh, we need to do this. We need to put Nicki Minaj in our game. We need to do crossovers with Nintendo. And it ruins the lore of the game. Helldivers lore is so good. And I don't want to see it bogged down by all these other things. Like, even a lot of people were asking for to have Deep Rock Galactic crossover. And like, I like Deep Rock Galactic. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy Deep Rock Galactic. But like, it would ruin the vibes of the world, right? Like, it would I think it would do more harm than it would do good to have Deep Rock Galactic be in the game. I know that's a bummer. I know people also want a Warhammer crossover, and like, I love Warhammer. I would love a Warhammer game in the style of Helldivers, but I don't feel like it can be done well. I feel like it'll just taint the lore. I've played the Percival. Also, since we're on that sort of on that tangent, I got invited to a Dungeons and Dragons game called The Crooked Moon, which was made by Legends of Avantris, who makes they made a bunch of subclasses in a really kind of grim dark world. And I'm having a problem selecting what subclass I want to be for my D&D games. So I want y'all's opinion. So there is a barbarian who, rather than having a rage mechanic, he uses different like injections and augmentations as his rage. That's pretty cool. There's a hunter that summons hellhounds to drag people down. There is a fighter who uses a spectral mount to walk through walls. And there's a paladin who believes that people need to suffer for their sins and uses pain and suffering and fire to cleanse the dark lands of the evil. Those are the 4 character archetypes. Take it easy. We'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out with us, Jay. Those are the 4 character classes I'm looking at playing. So I always play a paladin. So I'm thinking maybe not a paladin this time. Maybe the barbarian, like a barbarian that uses different like injections and augmentations sounds really cool. In theory, like it's got some good role-playing flavor, you know, so maybe that. Stop running away from me. There we go. I like the sound of, yeah, the barbarian with the augment sounds like a lot of fun. That's the one I'm kind of leaning towards. Play a dwarf. I will never willingly play a dwarf. Here's the thing that I'm kind of playing with. So kobolds. Kobolds in Dungeons and Dragons lore are tiny little mischievous dragons who want to be, you know, real big dragons. So I'm thinking it could be fun to play like play a kobold who's using all these experimental like liquids and augmentations to try and turn themselves into a real dragon. I feel like that could be a really fun little story to explore. This tiny little 3-foot dragon who injects himself with a bunch of mysterious experimentations to try and become a real full-fledged dragon could be a lot of fun. Khajiit has wares if you have coins. I do like the Khajiit. I do like the world of Skyrim, Tamriel. All right, we got garbage, 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 and garbage. That was kind of a waste of time, but okay. Speaking of time, we have streamed for an extra hour today, but my back hurts, which is telling me it is time to get up and get out of this chair and go do some chores and start my weekend proper. So thank you everyone for sticking around for the extra long stream today, but my back hurts, so I need to get up and take care of that. So let's end with our prayer as always. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Thank you, Lord, for this blessed day, and thank you for all that you do for us. Today, we continue to pray for victims of violence, whether that be war, political violence, domestic disputes, whatever the violence may be. Lord, help them. We continue to pray for all the victims of mental illness, all the people who are suffering. Lord, help to guide them through these difficult times. We pray for those who don't have enough, those who are starving, those who need water, those who need shelter, those who need love, whatever they are lacking in their life, Lord, help to provide for them. And finally, we pray for those souls who have no one left to pray for them, those souls in purgatory, those souls who have been forgotten. Lord, help to guide them to heaven. All this we pray in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. As always, it was a pleasure to stream for you. Mozzarella, thanks for joining. I'm sorry you caught the very, very end, but it's always a pleasure to start my day off right by streaming and chatting with you all. I can't tell you how much it makes my day. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Go and have a blessed day and a good weekend, and we will see you all again on Monday.